Because when I be
Yeah. Mr. White, can you hear me?
Yeah, man, you coming in clean.
No doubt. My people, what's happening? We back with another Therapy Thursdays. My name is Chief.
I'm Bell.
And we got our player partner, Mr. White, LCSW, Adrian White out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Oh, don't, man, I'm going to mess it up, Adrian. I was going to try to give him your email real quick. Info at
Accelerated Elevation.
I was going to say it backwards. AccelerateElevation.com. Check out the website.
Accelerated will work too.
Yeah.
Check out the website. AccelerateElevation.com. Yeah, the website under my name.
It's dope though. It's super dope. Mr. White, what's happening, baby? How you be? How you feeling? How you living?
Man, what's good, man? I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. I had some great coaching sessions today with just the men that I work with, man. When they hit the next level, that thing just does something for me. You know what I'm saying?
Dope.
And I was just thankful that I literally get paid to do something I like doing, because that wasn't always the case. As we know, sometimes, we got to grind, get it. We got to do whatever we can to make sure our families is good, but to be able to do a job that's rewarding and it's still like take care of everything I needed to be taken care of. It's awesome, man. So I'm just feeling humbled tonight. I'm feeling really, really good, man.
That's definitely what's up, yo. Was that your check-in? Was that the check-in?
Oh, I figured. I thought that's what you asked me was good. So
I was just just checking in, just saying hello. But you went on in, so that's what's up. You know what I mean? All Black when in therapy, we open the door, you just let it ride. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up.
Hey, Adrian, talk to me about your coaching. So when you, like that breakthrough that you experienced, like what's the demographic? Like when people want to find you for coaching, what should they come to you for coaching on?
So I would say mostly transitioning. So any man that's transitioning, whether it's separation, becoming a father, trying to find yourself, just graduating college, issues in your marriage, relationship. So anything as it relates to a man, right? Juggling, trying to find your career, all types of things. And that's what men reach out to me, for. And it's easy because I feel like I've been through everything, right? Like I done made every mistake there is to make. So not only do I have a lot of the personal experience with me as a therapist as well, too, I use those skills when I do coaching. And so that's what
You just muted yourself, player.
My mic slipped out. The kids done ruined my mic. But really the only difference when I do coaching versus therapy is the type of relationship I can have with the people who I work with. So that's why I prefer coaching, right? So like a lot of people are moving to Charlotte. So when I coach them, they don't know a lot of people. We can go out and just have lunch. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different dynamics that I can do as a coach versus a therapist. Like another benefit of my coaching, you could text me throughout the week. Like we can engage. So it blends a lot of mentorship, in there as well. So
yeah, my wife's a coach. I think I mentioned to you before, and she which I didn't even know still existed. All her clients, they use Voxer, so they communicate through Voxer and everything like that. I'm like, I didn't even know Voxer was still around, but that's what's up. Now I was just curious, just for our listeners, for those who want to know, because you've mentioned it a couple of times, and just wanted to make sure we gave them some more content around or context around what it is you do. But that's dope. That's dope.
So, Mr. White, we had a conversation a couple of days ago, and it was about experience from a counselor's perspective. And what they were saying was, how like they say you take advice from someone who's made all the mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Or someone who's reached all the success. But someone said, like, if they haven't gone through it, they don't trust you. But I'm sure you encounter a lot of situations where people come to you and it's, you know, shit that you haven't dealt with. Does it make it easier for you when you've gone through these experiences, or is it just like, is there like lessons that teach you how to navigate through stuff that you haven't necessarily gone through yourself? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Because a lot of people, some people wouldn't trust you if you haven't gone through what they've gone through.
Well, I would imagine, but you answer, Adrian. I would imagine that's where his credentials come in.
Right, but I'm just saying. That's what I'm asking. Like, so from your personal experience, is that even applicable? When I mean, not that it's not applicable, but like, isn't it like a fine line you have to go between inviting your personal life into the profession?
Yeah, absolutely. So the rule of thumb that I follow, if I'm gonna share anything personal, is how does it help the person that I'm working with? If it's literally not gonna help them at all, then there's no point in me sharing it, right? But also the difficulty or what a challenge could be is if I relate closely too much to what the person is going through, I can then start to press on what worked for me onto them. And that may not be what they need. So I can start telling them what to do, assessing what they need and coming up with a plan that more so fits them.
Is that
so in some instances it's a benefit? Yeah, it's a benefit sometimes to work with a therapist who doesn't relate to what you're going through. So then there won't be no bias involved at all. They're literally just identifying the problem, setting the goals with you. They're looking for any faulty thinking, any cognitive distortions, anything like that. And then they're giving back to you literally what it is that they're seeing.
Now, is it difficult to like refrain from inserting your personal perspective at times? Because I know, like, in casual conversation, yeah, you know what, I had an experience like that too, like blah 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 blah, and just like having that type of conversation, do you have to like fight back, like refrain yourself from doing that at times?
No,
I
don't know if
you're always. I'm just curious. You know what I'm saying?
No. That's a great question. I don't think so. I think, but it's probably because I've been doing it so long. And then earlier on, I don't think I struggled with it because I was just so nervous. I didn't want to make a mistake. So like I was overthinking and I was, overly conscious of it. But now I don't know, because when I go in, I have to understand, right? If I'm talking, the more I talk, the less effective I'm going to be at understanding. So I'm really just trying to ask a bunch of questions. That's on my mind. And I had to learn that, hey, I have to be slow to speak, right? Let me ask these questions. Let me make sure I'm not assuming, so I have a clear picture. Then once I have a clear picture, it's typically a lot easier for me to go ahead and go, forward with them. But then too, like, I don't know, I think I got easier at just telling what certain people need, right? So it's like sometimes, right, even in that first session, I'll self-disclose some things when they're like, yo, you don't know. And I also, in my consultations, I give them the opportunity to ask me anything. I'm like, personal, anything about my experience, like all of that, because that is what a lot of men like us, they need that piece. Oh, okay, so you're not perfect either. Oh, okay, cool. Now that literally shuts the wall down and they're willing to just go and just let all, types of things out.
That's what's up. I feel like we dove right into this joint real fast. We was getting into the conversation.
You dove in real fast.
I was just you asked him a question about his profession. Nevertheless, go ahead. So Bellhead, what's good? Check in, B.
I'm good, man. Just got back from New York last night. I had my my team's holiday party. We did one of those Hudson River cruise joints. It was a good time. I'd never seen the Statue of Liberty so close. The only time I saw Statue of Liberty was when we picked Prentice up from the airport that one time in March. That was my first time seeing it. So so that was dope, and seeing Lower Manhattan and all the views and all that. But bruh, the dinner cruise is at 7. It started boarding at 6:30, but it left at 7. I left my hotel at 6:30, 3 miles away. It took me 40 minutes to get there.
Don't make it.
Yo, I pulled up. I'm texting my team. I'm like, yo, you guys are there? She's like, yeah, send us the tickets. I'm like, all right. Then I'm like, I'm not gonna get to those 7:05. It's like, we got you. We're gonna do some negotiating with the captain. So they started talking to the captain, and then it's like, look, this is my boss. He's here from Boston. And the captain was like, so you want me to help somebody out from Boston? I'm like,
New York cat.
Yeah,
word.
I'm like, damn. So, and then the thing is, you pull up, it's Pier 36. You pull up, this is huge building, but the boat is around back. So I'll show you I'll show you the picture on my phone. I get around back, I don't see the boat. I'm like, oh damn, they left me. but I see arrows on the ground that lead to where the area is. I'm like, well, fuck it. Let me just start jogging. Now, mind you, I got a full suit on, a full length wool coat, some designer sneakers, and I'm in a full out sprint because now I can see the boat. But bro, that shit is so far. Like it's so far that they couldn't see me running towards them. Like that's how far it was. And I was just going. And by the time I got there, man, I'm like, my damn chest hurt, man. So, but they held the boat. They didn't leave till like 7:15. They held the boat for me. We had a good time, man. And
I need a drink.
Man, I needed some water. Like
I'm saying.
I needed some water and some damn Gatorade. But it was good though, man. I did that last night. I going on vacation, and looking forward to that, to just kind of unplugging, taking my son to Puerto Rico for the first time. He's never seen that side of his family. We was down in Panhandle earlier this year, so he's meeting my dad's family, so he's gonna see the Puerto Rican side when we get down there. So yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
That's what's up. You know me, doing the same old, still working on some things, putting together the next album already. You know what I'm saying? Starting my grind on that already.
When you want to release that? Or is it not? Is it just still too soon?
Way too soon. But I mean, but I want to have it ready so I can have a nice, a nice extended run on it and whatever. But so that's going. I got some cool people I connected with that's gonna help out. It's gonna be pretty dope. One of the producer cats I met, like did some joints with, you name it, he done it. You know what I'm saying? Like all of the aboves, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm down." So we chopped up a day. So that's gonna be kind of cool. Kids are good. Yo, quick story. So my shorty, I don't know if I told you, Miss. My shorty plays softball, my daughter, and she's like, she picked it up very, very fast over the past like 2 years. So she's 12 years old now. She's playing with a 14U team. So she's like playing up, you know what I'm saying? And she's doing well. And she's like, I want to start working out so I can get stronger. So we went to work out the other day, and it was nothing crazy, just a regular, just to kind of get her body used to it. So there's no weights, just air body squats and push-ups or whatever. And we did some wall sits. She ain't used to working out, so we did wall sits for 45 seconds, and her legs is trembling. I'm talking about shaking. I'm like, babe, don't quit. And she's in there. You can see it in her face. If you gotta cry, go ahead and cry. And she starts crying, and I'm like, she starts crying, and it was like 5 seconds left, but she like thugged it out, and she popped up, and she was good. She was like, Dad, that hurts so bad. And I'm like, but yo, like everything in me just thought she didn't have that willpower. You know what I'm saying? But like to see her push through to the point of like making herself cry, which I'm like, I wouldn't have said anything if she gave up because it's literally her first time. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that she pushed through was just like, it was like empowering almost, bro. Like I didn't have to, like, this was just like, you can't teach that. I mean, you can't, maybe, you know what I'm saying? So she fought through, and it just felt real good. And today she's like, Damn, my legs hurt so bad. I'm so tight. Yeah, so she said, but we went back to the gym today and got it in again. You know what I'm saying? And she pushed through the soreness and whatnot. So
I haven't done a wall sit, bro. I couldn't tell you how long.
Yeah, so we pushed through that a little bit today, and it was cool. So I'm just excited to see, how much bigger, faster, and stronger she gets. She trying out for she going to do track on Monday.
What she want to do?
She want to throw. She a pitcher, Adrian. So you know what I'm saying.
That makes sense.
She want to, she want to throw the javelin or whatever. So
not the shot put. I thought she for sure gonna say shot put.
Whatever. She's pretty fast too, though. You know what I'm saying. So she might. Who knows? Coach will see what she got, and then.
But what would that be for? School or like?
School. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
school,
okay.
Yeah. School got a track team. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Dude, all I remember in middle school is cross country. I know we had a track team, but all I remember is cross country. I don't remember nothing.
We was hooping at that time. So
no, I know, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of like actual teams.
Adrian, can you hoop?
Yeah, I'm nice. Well, I was nice. I'm terrible now.
No doubt. So listen, yo, what we want to talk about today, y'all, was trauma responses, man. Mr. White, before we get into the story of how we came about this, are you familiar with trauma responses? That's something you like see often, or in your personal life, or even in the profession?
Wait, before you answer, if you are new to the page, it's All Black Men Need Therapy. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe.
Word. We got one heart on the screen right now. Keep liking and sending love to us, yo. For real, for real. Visit the website too, y'all. www.abmnt.com. We got merch out. Get yourself a sweatshirt or something like that. You dig? Well, go ahead.
Yeah, so I see it with a lot of couples, especially like I would say but on both sides equally. So whether somebody feels disrespected or threatened or the trust has been broken, something like that, I see a lot of the flight, of course, in the men, a lot of the fight that's in the just a lot of us that's we automatically turn to in a lot of situations like that. So I see it a lot in those areas, and especially too because I specialize now. So since I only work with couples and men around mostly transitions, that's the only way it show up. Like I don't even see people for other things like I used to. I really stay away from the majority of mental health disorders, like serious ones. So yeah, that's my scope of it.
So do you know if we ever told the people what it was? I don't think we ever told them.
I don't remember when. I don't even remember when we did the episode.
We talked about it was right around the time of the Oprah email. I don't think we ever told the people what happened. Right.
Yeah. No, we did.
Well, I don't think we did because I know in that episode we didn't.
Maybe the one after. Well, you talking about how we responded when we got the email?
We talked about how we responded. We never told them what the email was about and who it came from and all that good stuff. Oh. We never shared that information with anybody.
And I'm guessing you want to share it now.
Why not?
Yeah, now's the time.
So we got to hear the story though, right? So we get this email from this dude, right? And it says, we get a bunch of emails and it's like spam or whatever. So we didn't pay no attention to it. So then it comes back like 2 weeks later, and it's the same dude. And I'm like, okay. And then Bell looks him up on LinkedIn. Looked him up on LinkedIn. It's legit. So it's this dude from the Oprah Winfrey Network,
the OWN network,
and we like. That's hop on them. You know what I'm saying? They reached out to us like, yo, we would like to get down with y'all, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, yo, this is dope, right? So we schedule this, and so we schedule this call. And they're like, yeah, we want to get you, to have this person on, and we'll pay you this much, and yada, yada, yada. And we like, yo, is this real? So we get the team together, we drafting up contracts, got them negotiating everything. They about to give us a bag. They pretty much in the email, so like, yeah, it's a go. Right, so we like word. So we get me, him, and Prentice. Shout out to my man P. We read the email, and Prentice is like dumb hype. So he calls me and he's like, "Yo, you ain't hype, blood." I'm like, we ain't signed no papers yet, bro. We got a little bit, let's wait till we sign them papers, right? And then Prentice is like, "Yo, what the hell is going on? Be like, you ain't hype enough for me. Man, I'm hanging up on you. I'm gonna give you a chance to get your shit right. I'm hanging up. I'm gonna call Bell." So he calls Bell, and Bell got pretty much the same response, like. Yeah, I just saw the email. Yeah, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? And then I guess Bell's wife.
Yeah, she either overheard the conversation or I think he was on speaker. That's what it was. I think he was on speaker or something like that. And then she was just explaining to him, like, that's how I respond to good news. Like if it's not final, finish, definitive, then I don't necessarily I don't move one way or the other. Like I'm just like until it's something to celebrate. I don't celebrate it, And even sometimes also when it is time to celebrate, I still don't celebrate it because now it's like again, it wasn't you weren't on. It was an episode we did recently. We spoke in length about how I perceive happiness and the strive, like the work that it takes to be successful. And what I say is I may or may not ever be one that like rests on his laurels. Like, oh, I made it this far. I'm gonna just kick back and chill. The unintended consequence of that is you're always shooting for something and you never get a chance to enjoy, right? And be in the moment of what you've already accomplished. So I say that to say my wife had explained, she's like, no, that's a trauma response. Like you not being excited about this is something in your past that won't allow you to be happy about something until it's final, until there's no way it can be taken from you, till there's no way that it's in jeopardy. because until you don't, she basically you don't invest your emotion until it's warranted. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I never thought about it like that. That's just how I respond to most things. But yeah, so that's the story, and it wasn't anything dramatic or big, but it was just the situation was a dope situation.
No, it was.
But it 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 it, it didn't move me one way or the other until we, because I don't do verbals. You know what I'm saying? Like I need something signed, and when it's signed, then we move forward. You know, but
so long story short, it never ended up panning out, which is a testament to kind of why we didn't respond the way we should have responded. But it was so cool in the moment, like at the time, and we was very newly into recording the podcast, and like, yo, the Oprah Winfrey Network want to work with us. Like, yo, this is dope. Like, this is like for real. You know what I'm saying? So it felt good, and then all of a sudden, dude just went ghost on us, right?
Yeah,
dude just went ghost on us. No, nothing. Ain't heard back or nothing like that. So it's like, all right,
I should probably follow up with him at some point.
Yeah, why not? And let him go. And it was just like, and we never. I don't. So if you look in the comments, shout out to Reese, Mia, to Mia, and so they we never got to sell it. We never told the people what it was. We kept it under wraps because we didn't want to like blow it, and we never told the people.
But even that, like, even if you remember, even that, you kept like saying we got something big happening. That was bothering me. I'm like, yo, like, let's not even say nothing about nothing until we find out something. You know what I'm saying? And but that's also how I am. Like, I'm just a person, and not this has nothing to do with trauma, but or maybe it does. Who knows? I'm not a person that likes to like be in the spotlight. Like, I don't like the spotlight. These lives, for instance, it damn near took me 3 years to convince me to go live. Like, I just didn't want to do it. Like, I don't like front facing. Like, I don't mind speaking at like events and stuff like that, but I guess another way to say it is I just want people in my business. Like, so that's how I've always been.
It's taken a long time for us to kind of lower the guard a little bit and be a little bit more vulnerable, because we would have conversations and they'd be real service level with them the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And in the very beginning, it was tough. Like, I remember some certain conversations like, damn, you can't even say vulnerable without feeling a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? So never mind being vulnerable. But the story at hand was like, with that great news, bro, we didn't allow ourselves the moment or the opportunity to celebrate, to embrace the moment and just be proud of the work we were doing, because we were so worried about it not being or not coming through and being, and maybe look stupid. I don't know what happens if we tell everybody it doesn't happen. Like,
no, it's not that. For me, it's like, I'm not about to invest my emotion and allow myself to get all excited if there's nothing to technically be excited about yet.
Right.
So that's what it's for me. So it's like for me to go, because like that's an emotion. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's an emotion. So I'm giving my emotion to somebody else in return to something great happening. But it's like, if I have to give that up, I need something in return. And I'm not willing to give that up yet until I get that thing in return. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, I'm protecting my emotions. I'm protecting my space by way of just keeping it, by way of understanding that this is a give and take. I'm not going to give you this for nothing. Like, you have to do something for me to give this to you. And this is crazy, because this is a deeper conversation. That's how I am with everything. What I mean by that is this: I'm not just trusting you because I'm a good human. You know what I'm saying? So like, for instance, Adrian, if you started, if you moved next door, right? We didn't know you. You moved next door. Some people give trust freely, and then they take it back quickly if warranted. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh yeah, that's Adrian. He's moved next door. He's a social worker's life coach. He's this. He got all this stuff going on. He's a great dude, great family, great all of this. So you have all the signs and the workup to be trustworthy, right?
Which makes it even more so of a reason why
No, it's not even that. It's not. I'll trust you to, be a good neighbor. State Farm is there, but like, I'm not going to trust you with something that means something to me until you've proven that you can be trusted.
Absolutely.
So that's how I am with all. If I have to allow myself to be vulnerable, I want to know my vulnerability is going to land in a safe space. That's the easiest way to sum it up.
And that makes total and complete sense. So when we had this conversation, Mr. White, it was around Black men learning how to be happy, learning how to celebrate a moment and pat yourself on the back. You ever see the meme where it says a year ago, or you're halfway to where you said you wanted to be a year ago, or something like that, or I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but you've made these strides and progressed to a point where you're like on the way to getting to your goal. And we don't acknowledge any of the good work that was done beforehand because we haven't reached the ultimate, the end goal.
But we also move the end goal
Continually, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you hit this one thing, then you I got to get something. At least I do.
All right, so let me say this. So first, with your response with not getting happy, right? The thing about a trauma response is not bad, right? I think a lot of times people hear this trauma and it's automatically like a negative connotation to it, right? But a trauma response is literally just how you react to trauma. So I don't know if what you went through, I would have to know what you initially were going through to where, hey, maybe you got excited too early and you were disappointed, like the degree to which you were disappointed, to be able to say that that's a trauma response. Because really that's wisdom. Hey, there's nothing to really celebrate because you've been promised things before, but we know a mouth or me promising you something means nothing if it's not in writing. So to not celebrate that doesn't necessarily mean that came from a traumatic experience, right? Or that's how you respond to things that could possibly make you happier, that other people would feel like hey, other people would celebrate it. That sounds like that's just wisdom. Like that's just a wise way to look at things.
It could be both, like
it could be both.
And I think I don't look deep into what has happened to me to evoke this current state emotion or response. You know what I'm saying? Like there may be something that and I'm not saying there is or isn't. I honestly don't know. There may have been moments or a moment where something impacted me to the point where it now triggers this response. And I say may or may not because it could be suppressed. You know what I'm saying? Like I may never acknowledge that again. So to me, it may not exist. However, the feeling exists. So when this happens again, i.e. trauma response, when this happens, it's like, oh, let me protect myself. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's not just when good things. For me personally, it's every time I can lend anytime I can give somebody a piece of me, like I need to be sure. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to be really sure. And again, I don't know. I don't know where it comes from. It could be a survival tactic. Could be whatever.
Yeah, that's something we would literally probably have to like explore. Like you would literally
Unpack,
just explore that with somebody, just different stages of your life, how you responded to different things, etc. But again, even if it is a trauma response, that doesn't make it bad. Or negative.
No, that's
you know what I'm saying? So
that's a good call out too, because one could hear that and immediately attach a negative connotation to it. So that's a good call out.
I do. I think what's cool about the whole thing is as I'm listening to it, like if we had to sit down and unpack all of this, like this is literally one of them things where you could be like, yo, no, that wasn't it. Oh, wow. When I was 7, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is one of them things that could really, really like take you back into the place. And so one of the experiences we talked about in that episode was like in the midst of me achieving certain accomplishments with my poetry, getting flown all to LA and doing a show on television and yada, yada, yada. Like I was happy to go, but it wasn't, I didn't allow myself to be like, yo, this is like a big deal, bro. Like I just, and I don't know why. And again, probably to the same note as Bell, like something that needs to be unpacked. But now that we had this conversation, I definitely feel like there's something there that has prevented me from like celebrating the the big wins. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree completely. I work with people on celebrating the small wins, right? Because I think we can be so caught up on trying to reach a certain point, which, like Bell was saying, that point changes anyway. You know, as we grow, we're trying to fill these endless voids, how we talked about titles and things like that. So it's like we don't know how to celebrate small wins too sometimes, or big wins.
That we can park right there for a second. Because that's the other thing. That's probably the bigger conversation. Like,
Mhm.
are we equipped to celebrate? Like, do we know what it means to celebrate? Right? Like, do we know how to celebrate? Like, because I can speak for myself. There's certain things that I accomplish that I don't talk about or I'll dumb down because I feel, depending on the audience, it can be like you coming over here talking to me about this X accomplishment, and I'm on Section 8. You know what I'm saying? But that relationship is that, like, we're still super close. Now, they may not be saying that at all, but that's in my mind, like how I look at it. Like, I'm over here basically, and I wouldn't be, but I'm just for the purpose of this conversation, I'm over here boasting about, an extra $30,000 I made or whatever the case. And this person didn't make $30,000 for the year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's another reason why I don't, and it's a greater conversation. That's another reason why I don't necessarily talk a lot about things, because then the other thing is, it's like, more you talk about things, and I'm not saying this is a fact, I'm saying this is how I perceive it. The more you talk about things, the more things you potentially would have to give people. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so for me, like, I don't necessarily brag or anything. And you could tell, bro, like you probably have experienced as you move through your education and your credentialing and everything like that. People sometimes, again, this is why I always tell him it's so important, like your environment and who you surround yourself with, because I've been places, man, and literally haven't said a word about anything, like professionally, that I do. And the responses to people, like, it's almost like all of a sudden I become intimidating. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, bro, I'm just here trying to get a drink, man.
Right.
Like, I'm just trying to get a drink. Like, doesn't matter what my title is, and literally, like, I won't speak about these things, and then they'll press me about certain things, and then I'll be forced to answer. I'm like, oh, you're all of this, I'm like, no, you said that,
Right.
not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you asked me a question, I answered it. A question I didn't want to even go down this road on, but here we are. So there's a level of insecurity in me and in people that I just don't want to expose sometimes. So I also don't celebrate it, right? That's me personally. But I also think, as Black people, I mean, I'm an overarching Black people, like, I think there's been so many things that we could not celebrate, that is hard to find the things to celebrate, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but
No, it does. And I like what you were saying too, because I feel like it can go twofold, right? You can have somebody who, and I think the majority of it always stems from childhood, right? Some way,
100%, 100%.
form, shape, right? It's all connected. So it could literally be to where you weren't celebrated as a child. So now it literally means nothing to you because it was never validated by your parents, which could lead to the insecurities, right? But rather than feeling like or acknowledging that we're insecure, we'll tell ourselves, well, hey, no, I don't want to do this because then they just gonna hype me up and I don't want the attention. But when in all reality, it's because you don't even see yourself as a good person, or like you really even accomplish something,
or deserve it.
Or deserve it. Absolutely.
Because that's another thing that I dealt with before. And not that I didn't feel like I deserved it, because I know how hard I work. So that's not the case. But I see people and I'm like, they're deserving too. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're deserving too. And, whatever circumstances, whatever the case. But and it's like I would tell him all the time, man, like there's nothing like for me more fulfilling than like bringing people along with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? As you do different things, certain things, like just bringing people along with you. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me is important.
Definitely dope. Hey, Mr. White Bell, I want to take a quick pivot and dig into the comments real quick. Elder AD, shout out to him. But they asked some questions. I figured we could tackle a couple of them while we're here, man. This is why we went live, so we can get, join in with the people. So shout out to Elder AD. And he says, question, Mr. White, why do a lot of therapists automatically default to depression when assessing what you're going through, even before you finish explaining what you're experiencing?
Because it's easy.
Yeah, it's easy. That's probably what I can say. A lot of times therapists are not that experienced in the field. A lot of times they just try to work with, so many different people just because they want to build their caseload up. So it could be a variety of reasons, right? So typically, like with me, and that's another reason why I went to coaching, but as a therapist, when you bill insurance, you have to give the person a diagnosis, right? That's the only way their insurance will cover it. So me, I always like to lead towards like adjustment disorders, right? Meaning, hey, you just had some things going on in the past few months and you're struggling to kind of cope with it. Those are my initial ones because I feel like it takes a lot longer than one session to determine if somebody has, schizophrenia or even anxiety. I feel like it takes more unless they have like a history, their own medication, and things like that. But I really think it is just a default thing. And people don't always know, their DSM. Which is what we use to diagnose people.
What's the acronym for?
Oh, don't get me the line. I don't know. I forgot. But it's the D. Dang, that's terrible. I don't know. But it's pretty much like a book with all of the diagnosis. It has all of the criteria that they need to meet. So really, we would look in the book. Do they meet this? Do they move? Okay, this is the diagnosis that they have.
No, yeah, we got like that. We got something like that for like leadership. But real quick, speaking of diagnosis, do you have ADHD or something? Like I'm in Chief's house right now, and this dude's literally touched everything on this damn desk. Like we have a camera on the desk. He took it from one place and moved it to another place. The unhooking like headphones and putting them in bags. Like, sit your ass down somewhere.
Don't worry about what I be doing, B. I'm good. I'm balanced out. Listen.
This dude's doing everything over here, man.
Chill
like,
out, B.
Like none of this shit is bothering any of us. It is not in the way of nothing.
People in the chat,
like,
to Elder AD, Reese, Mia, Bag of Toast. That's what's up. Let me keep going. And she did say we never told the people about it. And Reese been following us since day one. Bell, they say they truly listen. Shout out to my guy, man. You know what I'm saying? We're truly proud of your growth.
Comfort level
and allowing us to get to know you in real time. Bell, low key, your lives are great, and we look forward to hearing them.
Hey, so I'm about to launch my own Instagram page, y'all. Finally, I'm about to do it, man. I'm about to launch my own Instagram page.
Elder AD says, Bell, do you think because you're so self-sufficient, self-sustaining, and self-aware that your response was subdued because the email was not a result of the work you put in?
That is a great question. That is a great question because, and I'm going to paraphrase, but almost what I'm hearing is you're saying that we got something, and I'm not saying you're saying this, but this is how I'm hearing it. We got something that we didn't necessarily. We had an opportunity that the work didn't necessarily correlate to. You know what I'm saying? Like if we got that email now, it would make more sense. But at the time when we got it, I had more questions than anything. I'm like, how did they find us? You know what I'm saying? Like all these questions, which is why we didn't think it was real, but it was damn sure real. That's a great question. Here's a scary thing. To answer to I don't have an answer, but what I can tell you is, even when I do put the work in and I get the result that I said I was going to get or I want to get, I still don't give myself enough grace. But I will say, or give myself enough grace and or appreciation for what I just accomplished. But I will say, this may be good or bad, but I've recently reactivated my shopping problem. So I've always just been so like conscious of like putting money away, investing in stuff, doing things. And then recently we just got a bonus that I talked about. Like, man, fuck it, man. I'm about to just buy some stuff. So today, right, I was in Tennessee recently and I bought some glasses. I'm going to Cancun in January. And every time I go to Cancun, I just buy like a new set of shades. And I always get this certain style. But when I was in there, I'm trying on so many damn glasses and I'm like, all right, you know, I'm gonna get these. So in my mind, I'm like, I got the ones I always go with. I go with the aviator lenses. Like I always go with those. I'm coming back from the airport today, and the sunny. I'm in the back of the Uber. I go grab my glasses. I put them like, oh, I bought these. I didn't even know what I bought. Is my point. Like I didn't even know what I bought. Like that's how. And I bought like 4 pair of sneakers over the last like week. It's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. So I have been celebrating myself, but now I'll be swinging the pendulum. Like I don't do shit, you know, and then I do everything. So I got to shut it down.
Shout out to my guy Larry Frank.
Hey, Larry Frank.
Up in there. He says, "Greeting, brother. I honestly think it all boils down." Put that up there. I honestly think it all boils down to what you want to verbalize, because negativity hits different when it's verbally conveyed versus suffering in silence. Touche, my brother.
What do you mean by that, Larry Frank?
Oh, it's the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. You know what I'm saying? We knew what that was.
Yeah, we knew that.
You know
I always want to give y'all some homework. You know what I'm saying?
He said, let me get the 5 you told Chief he couldn't get. He got the bonus and ain't passing out no bread.
Oh, shit going. I told you I just reactivated my I got trips coming up and shopping, bought some suits.
What was the other? It was another.
I want Larry Frank, if he's still on, to expound on that, because I think I know what he's saying, but I'm not really sure. Are you saying that when you say things aloud that are negative, it becomes real, or when you say what you're potentially about to do to someone, it then opens it up for negativity?
He'll come back in and tap back in with us, so we know, Larry Frank. See, he would be one of the ones I pass the link to, let him jump on and have a conversation with us, because I rock with Larry Frank. Nevertheless, so Mr. White, have you experienced that trauma responses in your life, whether good, bad, or indifferent?
Yeah. Mine, I think mine probably is, well, like earlier on it was fight. I think now it could possibly be it was fight. Now it could be flight, possibly, to where, all right, I'm just gonna totally disconnect myself from certain situations. Right. As of right now, I can't really think of the last time a situation happened for me to really see if I had a traumatic response. Like I haven't been in any super like stressful or just something just happened where it's like, oh gosh, and you would see like an immediate trauma response. Because I think a trauma response also too is something you don't really think about, right? Like it just it's automatic, like boom.
It's a reflex response.
Yeah, so I can't even really think of something that has happened recently to where.
And on top of that, being able to identify it. Like it may be your spouse that will help you identify that somebody else is close to you.
So in that situation, I would say it's definitely flight. But I know I can't leave, right? So my flight is just, all right, I'm about to go sit in my garage. I'm just gonna go separate from her when we having a conversation or when we talking. If I get frustrated, I'm like, all right, I'm out.
Yo, and that's been my go-to lately. So I'm like on both ends of the pendulum, honest to God. Mm-hmm. Like either I'm going in or I'm completely avoiding it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so that's my thing now. Like, especially when interpersonal, like with another lady or something like that, it's like I'm not for that tension. I'm walking away and I'm ignoring it, or I'm just.
You personally, it's like I'm gonna use this phrase, but it may not. It may be a little exaggerated, but you're almost like a ticking time bomb, like with you, because it can be like
one end.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it's like you can't play the middle with you. Like you're, like you said, you're one end of the spectrum or the other. Either you completely remove yourself, where it's like, yo, that might have been worse. You know what I'm saying? And then actually voicing your concerns and your opinions. And then there's other times where you go hard on something that it's like, bro, this was very insignificant. You know what I'm saying? Like you just wasted a lot of energy on a dude in the elevator. You know what I'm saying?
We're not doing that no more.
You know what I mean? It's
We're
like,
not doing it no more. But that situation was so big. It's a bigger deal to you than it was to me.
No,
and it's pissing me off now because I really don't.
I honestly just brought that up just to be funny. But
see, here she go.
What you say?
Like the elevator.
Yeah, like the elevator. But I don't want to talk about the elevator, but I'm gonna talk about it for 1 second. Like, what I'm saying is, like, that elevator is like a microcosm of how you deal with situations.
But it wasn't. But the elevator, even in how you perceived it to be, it wasn't even that bad. Like, you made it worse.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If it was exactly how I perceived it, would it concern you?
Yes, because I don't want to be perceived that way. No, because it doesn't happen often.
My concern mainly was we're on the other side of the country in an elevator, and this is happening. So the bigger glaring thing for me, and I'm not a therapist, the bigger glaring thing for me was like, what's the root cause? Like, what's behind this? So, you know what I'm saying?
In having these conversations that we had in the podcast, it was my expectations of other people. And it's simply acknowledging that I can't expect people to treat me how I would treat them.
Yeah.
I have to lower my expectations in that regard.
No, I agree with that. But how I received it was like you felt disrespected.
I think more so, my first jump was racism. That's the first place I went in my head. Mr. White, you're not familiar with the elevator situation? Did we tell you already?
Nah.
Wow.
We've had this conversation on 17 episodes.
Yeah.
But we was in the elevator. We walked. Belle and I walked at Prentice's wedding. Belle and I walk into the elevator. This dude on the elevator, like on his phone or whatever, right? And
no. We were already on the elevator. He walks onto the elevator. It was a stop. So we were on the elevator. There was a stop. White dude comes in on his phone, like most people, right? Chief, and we're looking. It's a very nice hotel, and it's like it's an elevator where you can see outside. So we're looking at the city, looking out. So dude walks in, and Chief's like, "Good morning," and then we continue to look back outside, and then the dude doesn't respond, and then Chief's like, "Good morning," and then the dude like almost gets a little startled. He's like, "Oh, good morning." And I'm just sitting there listening. I'm like,
he didn't listen. As soon as I said the second good morning, like, yo, no. What if that man don't want to talk to you? Now me and him arguing in the elevator in front of this dude, making him even worse. I'm like, yo, I just said good morning to the dude.
Yeah. So that because I'm just putting myself in his shoes, and I'm not saying that Chief was bullying him. I'm saying it could have been perceived that way. So when from my perspective, I'm like, I want to help my man. Like, I don't. Because like this isn't a real thing. Like,
I was trying to help him by just trying to provide some comfort for walking into an elevator with two big black niggas. You know what I'm saying?
And it immediately got uncomfortable. Immediately, like you talk about like it was, and that's what I was trying to tell him. I'm like, yo, if your goal is to make him more comfortable, allow him to be him. What if he doesn't want to talk to you? What if him not talking to you is actually how he finds comfort?
Yo, first of all, Mia, don't co-sign with this guy, yo.
She was there.
And we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I felt the way about Bell because he was pissing me off because he made it worse. The dude wouldn't think about it like that.
So Chief, you was more upset with Bell than the dude, Chief.
Whatever. I ain't gonna hear for that. Anyways.
Wait, no. What'd you say? What'd you say, Adrian?
You was more upset with Bell than you was the dude for not speaking?
I think he exacerbated the issue.
That sounds like it has sexual connotations to it. So don't use those type of words when we're in this close proximity.
I don't know what you're saying, so I'm gonna take it as disrespect. Anyways, yo, let's change the subject. Elder AD got nothing. Bell kind of stole my thought as I was typing. Question: as a spouse or parent, are there any tips in recognizing and or identifying trauma responses in your spouse or children?
Hey, I'm gonna give and I take this one, Adrian, but I'm gonna just say something real quick. Elder AD, don't coach your spouse, bro. Don't coach your spouse. That's my advice I'll give you because it it always will be well intended, but it may not land the way you need it to land. So if that's my opinion. I mean, we got a professional one. I'm sure he can
Wait,
shed
what did
some
you
more light
say?
on it.
Don't what your spouse?
Don't coach your spouse.
Coach your spouse. Yeah. Yeah, that's real. You literally have to be able to provide a space to
Yes.
where it's safe for you to give the feedback, right? And that's not always where a lot of couples are at. That's why when they do it, they don't even know how to receive it or to
Yep.
even give it in a way that it's received from a place of love, right? Typically, when we want to point out the flaw, we're already upset, right? We're not thinking about, hey, when is the best time to even have this conversation? Are there any particular words that I need to use? Can I even ask them, hey, do you feedback about something that I saw? You know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree. I remember having to learn, like, yo, it's, you know how men say, yo, you're supposed to teach your wife and things like that. I remember when it came so clear as day to me, like, the best way I teach her is by modeling the behavior.
Exactly.
Right? Like that's it. I don't need to be telling her what to do necessarily now. But because I serve her, she'll come ask me. And then that's when I do it, right? It literally has to be her asking or me making suggestions. Hey, so what do you think about this? Rather than saying, hey, do this. Hey, if you did this, how do you think it would work out?
Bro, that should happen today. Like, I kid you not. And a very, very small, minor example, but we're driving back to Connecticut. I mean, from Connecticut. But I was out late last night with the team and I flew in this morning. I was just dumb tired. I was like, oh, can you just drive? I always drive. Like, I'm always driving. I'm just a way better driver than her. And I only really feel comfortable when I'm driving. But in that same vein, what I would do often is while she was driving, I would say things to her. I'm like, yo, slow down. Why are we going this fast? Well, like stuff like that, like backseat driving. You know what I'm saying? Now I go to sleep because I'm like, if it's going down, it's going down. There's nothing I'm gonna be able to do. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to see it. So I'm gonna just go to sleep. So today we had stopped. My son wanted something to eat real quick. We had stopped at the McDonald's to get him a Happy Meal. And we're exiting, but it's like a big truck stop and all of that stuff because it's on the highway. And I see her going the wrong way. But I'm just like, I'm gonna let it be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, it ain't the time or the place. You know what I'm saying? She'll figure it out. So that's why I don't say nothing. Even when we're driving home, like she doesn't drive so much. Like I drive so much that she has to put the GPS on to get back to Connecticut. You know, like where I don't like we've been in Boston almost 3 years. Like how you don't know how to get back home yet is crazy to me. But anyway, we're driving, so we get off the same exit every time we come home. She put Manchester, the town where our parents live, in the GPS, and I'm seeing us about to drive and pass our exit, but I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna just let this go. I'm gonna just let it pan out how it's supposed to pan out. So we get off 2 exits past our exit, and all I said when we got off the exit, I'm like, we never went this way to get home before. And then she's like, what? Oh my God. I realized I just put Manchester in and I'm just getting off the exit that the GPS provided. So then I had to put in my in the GPS my mom's address so we can figure out the best way to get to her house. But yeah, man, whereas old me, like, yo, slow down, exit right here. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to get off right here, but that could have led to all kinds of other things. And it's just like, it's not that serious. So no, I do not coach my spouse. She always gets at me because my company, we're a sales organization and we're always giving each other feedback. You know what I'm saying? Like constructive, reinforcing, whatever the type of feedback we're given. And she's always like, don't be giving me no feedback. You know, so I don't want to hear no feedback. And I'm like, all right, you got it.
Now, before you tackle that question, Miss, well, I think you already did anyway. But those who are watching us right now, go ahead and click that like button one time. As my man Hint would say, the likes help the channel the most. We trying to help this thing grow. You know, we just getting started. Mr. White said he was there from the beginning of that joint. He saw it grow to what it has now. So we just trying to.
And you here for the beginning of this?
Move in a good direction. You know what I'm saying? So if you want it right now, hit the like button one time. Subscribe to the channel. We doing some big things. I think we got a good session in today, fellas. I don't know if we need to keep it going. Anybody?
Any other pressing questions?
Anybody in there want to go and ask LCSW.
Well, let me. I do want to get back to that question that was up there, just to give people like something specific to look at. I think the main thing in terms of just identifying the trauma response, it just boils down to awareness, right, and being curious. So I say that's the main thing. Pay attention to your spouse. Pay attention to your children, right? If they say they had a bad day, or a death in the family, or when they're angry or when they're upset, how is it that they are responding? Talk with them and process those things with them. But it literally boils down to awareness. Now, I don't know if I would necessarily be focusing on what their trauma response necessarily is, because it's not always a bad thing, right? It's only if it's used in excess, right? So if it's fighting and this dude is just swinging off on people every time he get mad or he gets offended or something, okay, now it needs to be addressed. But I would just always start with awareness and asking questions. Try to gather as much information as you can, and always come from a place as if you're genuinely interested. That will make them both more receptive to being open to receive anything that you have to say, right? So like my wife is always asking me so many questions. So I know when she says something is real, is coming from a good place, and you genuinely just are trying to understand me, versus, oh, you're trying to control me and kind of tell me what to do.
Yeah, or are you trying to therapize me or whatever?
Yeah.
That would be.
I'm thankful. My wife is like the only woman I've been with who never accused me of that. I get that all the time. Like, yo, I'm not trying to do therapy. I don't care. I do therapy all day. I'm just trying to chill. Like,
I'm off the clock. I'm not trying to work right now.
That's fun. So these are some gems I can apply when it's time. Nevertheless, my people, this was dope. Lots of gems from it. Those hit that like and whatnot. But we like to,
that's your Wi-Fi. You ain't got no bars.
I'm up here, cuz chill out. I don't even know what that is. We're gonna find out, but I'm good to go. Mr. White always his Wi-Fi always cracking up. He knows his.
I don't know.
Look at him. He ain't gonna lie to you.
You ain't even got a bar though. What we got?
I don't know what that is. Yeah. Nevertheless, again, I thought it was dope.
Connection is unstable. Sounds like your Wi-Fi.
Nah, it ain't me, B. I'm good over here. Go ahead and give us a final thought, Bell. You first.
I think the biggest gem that I got from this today for me was trauma responses don't have to be negative. You know what I'm saying? Like, trauma responses don't have to be negative, or perceived to be negative. Like, that was good for me to hear, because I think at least that's where I go. Like, if I hear a trauma response, I'm like, all right, that means there's some shit that I haven't sorted out that I need to get through or whatever. But it's true. It's it could be out of necessity, it could be out of whatever. So yeah, that was good for me. Keep conversations going. Like, I learned that through this conversation. We're talking about an episode we did over a year ago, and that never came up in the conversation the first time. So I just like to continue having open dialogue with, well, quite frankly, people who know more than you do in certain areas, So continue to expand your network and your circle, to put yourself in rooms where you're not the smartest person, quite frankly.
Mr. White, final thought.
Since I mostly work with married couples, don't try to coach your spouse, right? It's not that it's
they're gonna be coming to you for another reason. Like,
so
how does divorce gonna work out?
But it's literally just a matter of, sometimes we're not competent in a lot of things, right? We think we just know, but if you had to ask yourself, okay, where did you learn how to be married, right? Where did you learn to be a good husband and do this stuff from? More than likely, you haven't seen it, or you didn't even have access to your parents, the ins and outs of their marriage. So really, you don't know. So start with awareness, asking questions, and genuinely seeking to understand before anything else, right? If you seek to understand your partner, that's going to do more for your relationship than anything you tell them. So
I love it.
I like the not that I haven't heard it before, but I think it's important for people to remember, like, cultivating a safe space to have those difficult conversations is ultimately important. If you can catch yourself in the midst of your frustration and go, this probably isn't the best time or environment or tone that I have right now, it'll make all the difference when you do have this conversation with your spouse. And I think, two people willing to or two people fighting for the same goal and willing to take that space and then have the conversation when they're ready, ultimately creates a strong foundation for you guys to move forward and build on. So
like Ray said, he's like, sometimes the volume don't allow you to hear the message.
yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's when I work with couples, the first rule of communication I tell them is maintain self-control, y'all. If y'all are starting to argue or somebody's getting upset, the conversation needs to end. And that's one of the ones they all struggle with.
Yo, my wife and I, it was like this, like pride, ego, whatever you want to call it. But every time we would like argue, like bicker in front of people, like our close friends, it always became like a pissing contest. You know what I'm saying? So in therapy, we ended up creating a safe word. You know what I'm saying? To stop the other person from going any further if you recognize it before they do. So our shit was I think I left the garage door open.
That's fire. I like it. I like it.
I remember the last one we had in the middle of the bar, just going back and forth about something. I was like, I think I left the garage door open. Everybody was like, because then she just shut up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody looking like, the hell is going on here?
That's good, man. That's good, though.
Again, that's effective communication. Now you guys I'm sure you guys double back on that conversation.
No, I mean, but we just worked at it, man. We've been in therapy shit, bro, for fucking 6 years, something like that. Couples therapy, at least 6 years. So we just been working at it. And because it's not, this is my opinion, and maybe Adrian, you feel the same. I personally don't believe that therapy is like a one-time thing, or you know what I'm saying, or like a 6-time thing. You go 6 sessions and you're fixed. I don't believe that. I believe, like my chiropractor told me, I was like, man, I don't want to go to you, man, because I have to come to you for the rest of my life. He's like, nah, I hear you. He's like, you gonna brush your teeth for the rest of your life? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, shit. Got me. You know what I'm saying? So it's maintenance. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's maintenance because everybody evolves. Everything grows. It's like, and you can grow apart, you know, like, and if you don't have a governor or a checkpoint to kind of to make sure those things are still in balance, you know what I'm saying? So I highly encourage couples therapy.
Yeah, absolutely. We in couples therapy. You know what I'm saying? I think people need to go before issues start. So if you in a good marriage or a relationship and you don't think y'all got issues, now the time to start counseling. That's my recommendation, because a lot of times by the time people do come, it's so much resentment and stuff build. It takes forever to tear back all of these layers and get to a place to where you even view the other person as a person again.
Right.
Like, I get couples in there, they don't even see the person as a person. Like, what he mean that hurt him because I was with another dude? Like, he cheated on me, so I'm like, he's still a person.
Yeah.
So it's always best, just like with a doctor. You're gonna go see the doctor every year to get your checkup, right? Whether you have symptoms or not. Should be the same thing with your mental, man, and their relationship.
Yeah, I mean, should probably even it's probably more important, you know.
Word. Definitely. So those of you who haven't tapped in with a therapist, please do so. Can only help you get better. But y'all, I think this was dope. Mr. White, we appreciate you for tapping in, yo. I love these conversations. Hopefully we can do it again next week. With good Lord willing. Nevertheless, yo, hit the website for us one time, y'all. abmnt.com, allblackmennetherapy.com.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, All Black Men Need Therapy.
Yeah, check out Mr. White at acceleratedelevation.com.
Yeah.
You know, and follow us on all social media outlets at All Black Men Need Therapy. Do us all a favor and hug a black man today.
Do it.
And tomorrow.
Do it.
We out, y'all.
Peace.